think we need to take a walk down memory lane of the relationship between Taylor Swift and Charlie XCX. There are some major characters involved in the storyline, including Taylor Swift, Charlie XCX, Maddie Healy, and George from the 1975, with a guest appearance by Camila Cabello and Halsey. Their friendship or relationship, or whatever you would like to call it, kind of sparked when Taylor was on her 1989 tour and brought Charlie out as a guest. Shortly after, in February of 2015, Charlie actually sang Shake It Off on BBC Radio. So everything seemed pretty normal in the early 2010s after she came out and performed on the 1989 tour and was also praising Taylor's music. This led to Taylor asking Charlie to be an opening act for the Reputation Stadium tour. Taylor's major openers for Reputation Stadium tour were Charlie XCX and Camila Cabello, and they all three seemed pretty tight-knit. There were some rumors that Camila and Charlie didn't get along, but just rumors. Fast forward, Reputation Stadium tour is wrapped up. It was huge and successful for Charlie, Taylor, and Camila's careers. And then this is where the first odd thing happens in their relationship. Charlie had an interview in 2019 where it sounded as if she was kind of shading the Reputation tour and saying she felt like she was playing to an audience of children. She then released a statement basically saying, "I love Taylor, so glad that she invited me out to this tour. It was great, blah, 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 blah," like backpedaling. So even though this shady comment was made, everyone just assumed, it's the media twisting the story, and they're okay. It's a few months later, Taylor was honored with Artist of the Decade at the AMAs, and she brought out Camila Cabello to perform Shake It Off with her, just like she did on the Reputation Stadium tour. You would also think that maybe she would bring out Charlie XCX because that was her other opener. But instead of bringing out Charlie XCX, she brings out Halsey. It's a huge honor and a huge performance. Taylor getting honored with Artist of the Decade. You would think she would bring out her two openers, not just one of them. So, interesting that shortly followed that article. Or Charlie interacting at all, because again, Taylor's with Joe Alwyn. They don't really have a reason to be interacting because Taylor's music releases were just kind of personal, and we were going through Folklore and Evermore and Midnights. But then Taylor makes an appearance at the 1975 show in January of 2023 to perform Anti-Hero for the first time publicly. 1 week later, Charlie came out and performed with 1975. This doesn't have much meaning. Taylor was revamping her relationship with Maddie Healy, and Charlie was dating George from the 1975. Right before the timeline that I like to pretend didn't happen, where Taylor and Maddie are everywhere, they're dating, we know it, which means that Taylor is definitely in Charlie's circle because Charlie is in Maddie's circle. Fast forward, Maddie and Taylor are over. Charlie releases Brat with the song Sympathy is a Knife. Now this is where things start getting interesting. This song is clearly a reference to Taylor, whether the whole song is about her or not. The lyrics, "Saw you backstage at my boyfriend's show, fingers behind my back, hoping they break up." This is obviously referencing Taylor and Maddie and her wanting them to not be a couple because Charlie doesn't like sharing company with Taylor. To the point where at Charlie's shows, you have Charlie XCX fans, such as this fellow, holding up signs that say, "Life is short, bully a Swiftie today." Charlie gets on top of this because between people holding up these shirts and it going viral on TikTok, even though she was liking some of the posts, then people at her show in Sao Paulo start chanting, "Taylor is dead." And she releases a public statement, Charlie, and says she doesn't appreciate this, she doesn't support this. But then in the same timeline, Charlie does a cover piece with New York Magazine where she's lying here and there's a severed hand. Notice what's on it. A friendship bracelet. A severed hand with a friendship bracelet. Clearly a reference to Taylor Swift. So at the same time that she's saying she doesn't support all of this, she's not really showing that in the New York Magazine. So being the comeback queen that she is, Taylor Swift is asked by New York Magazine her thoughts on Charlie XCX when they're doing a praise piece. And she says Charlie's amazing, she's inventive, she takes songs to great places, just amping Charlie up. This was just a few months ago. Again, all while Charlie has Gabriette, Maddie Healy's fiance, in her music video at her VMA's performance, and is shading Taylor as much as she possibly can. Just riding the line of, okay, I don't want the Swifties to fully come for me, but I'm just gonna throw the little jabs out there. So before we even find out about Life of a Showgirl, just a few months before, at the 2025 Grammys, Charlie performed, and Taylor is full fangirling for Charlie, jumping, singing along, just acting like, oh, we're good, everything's great. I just dropped this line in New York Magazine saying how you're an amazing artist, while she knew there was going to be a song coming out in October of 2025 called Actually Romantic that clearly references Charlie XCX. Sick of Seeing My Face, referencing the lyrics in Charlie's song, Sympathy is a Knife. And also, Got You Brave. Charlie is known to be a big advocate of that. To the most recent possible silent response, don't know what kind of response it is, but Charlie wearing a Kansas City t-shirt last night on SNL. This could be nothing. Role Models album is Kansas something, so it could just be that. But interesting timing. These are two women that are very different in almost every single way, and I think they both would say that publicly, as Charlie has kind of said in her song. I'm a big Charlie fan. I'm a huge Swiftie. I don't want to have to pick sides here. But I am very interested to see where this goes and if this continues into a sort of Kendrick and Drake situation where we are going to see more of a story unfold. Because I'm sure they both have some ammunition.